ready to get into the cipher, I do want to let you know that it is Planet Remix, and a lot of times we cover adult content. So at this time, if you have anyone who's a minor, I would suggest that you put your headset on or get yourself in a place where you can enjoy your time on Planet Remix. But until then, put the babies out, do what you need to do so we can be responsible while knowing our magic. This show, this information, we dive into a lot of things that are adult content. And so therefore, if you are a minor, I want you to stop what you're doing right now, and I definitely want you to get your parent or your guardian's consent before diving into the remix. Well, enjoy. Enjoy the share. Yeah, and keep knowing your magic. We just gotta be responsible while growing up on planet Earth. goodness. Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome on in to Planet Remix on a Tuesday for most of the world. So good morning, good night, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Good night. And whatever part of the world, I wanted to come in and check in with everyone, see how you're feeling, see how you're doing. We're not going to be here for a long time, but just wanted to check in with you all and see how you're doing, especially with this energy that we have. Now, I'm going to preference that by saying that this month is packed with so much energy, and it's going to continue to be packed with so much energy. But I want us all to make sure that we're tapping in and making sure that we are really, moving ourselves from any distractions and making sure we're diving into our creativity, unlocking them from inspiration. So I'm going to share some things with you that you can carry with you throughout the rest of the week, for that matter, throughout the rest of the month. A great reminder to myself, because I just went over this with myself as well. And just for that reminder for us to stay focused. So I trust that you're doing well. I trust that you're feeling well. Welcome on into Planet Remix Radio. And yes, two things happen. Either one, you're on Planet Remix text line, or you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. And so you got the notification, or you've seen us in the algorithm. And this is how we came up. I definitely want to welcome you all in. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle, and want to welcome you on into Planet Remix. Definitely also want to let you know the Blue Room is open. So if you're listening via the phone lines, you can come on over and you can actually join us in the Blue Room. I'm going to give you those cosmic directions, but I'm also going to give the call line as well. And that is the call line is going to be 515-605-9794 is the number to call. International callers, you do need to dial the U.S. country code and then dial 515-605-9794. So here's the thing. A lot of you have been saying, and we have mixed reviews, that my volume is very low. A lot of you are saying the volume is perfect. And this has been happening. I know you all noticed this throughout the last couple of shows that we've been together. So here's two things that I want to let you know. As we are recalibrating, make sure two things happen. That you are checking your browser and you're also checking your sound system. But here's what I don't want us to rule out. I don't want us to rule out our own energy, because a lot of times what's happening is some of you are actually, elevating and expanding at this time. And so the volume may be very low to you based upon what you have going on. So I just want to kind of put that out to you. So after you've checked the electronics, then I want you to just kind of tune into yourself, because maybe that could be sort of what's going on. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. But a lot of calibration is happening. Because even though I've done nothing, some of y'all are saying you can hear me. I have changed nothing. Nothing. And then I want to go ahead and let you know that I am expanding. I am recalibrating at this time. And so the frequencies coming through, because I do send those frequencies, those energies, those light codes, all of that activation in my voice, in my frequency, that's coming through. I will tell you, it's been an electrifying day, to say the least, for me. An electrifying day. I will tell you that. It's been a very electrifying day. But how are you all doing? How are you all feeling? I have a couple of announcements that I want to say. First of all, shouts out to everyone who's here. Let's get those likes up so our soul family can know that we're here, and also so that we can kind of get ourselves up in this algorithm as well. So we have over 100 in the blue room alone, and let's get the likes up. Definitely. So if you're feeling sort of this fresh new energy coming in, which I'm so grateful, I don't know about you all, but I am so grateful that you're really sort of reaping your karma. And what I mean by that, when I say you are reaping your karma, I mean all the work that you have been putting in over the last 6 months. Oh, still hear me, because it did show that I went offline. But I'm going to see if we can get me back online here. And yeah, okay. Looks like we're coming back. We're back. Okay, beautiful. We're back. Hopefully you all can hear me on the phone lines as well. Okay. So if anyone's on the phone lines, let me know. Not back on the phone lines. Okay. Let's see if we can get back in on the phone lines here. See if we can get back in on the phone lines. Yeah. Let's see if we can get back on the phone lines here. See. All right. We're going to see if we can get back on the phone lines here. Let's see here. Let me try this. And here we go. Oh my goodness. So many of you guys are on the phone lines as well. But
so now press 1. Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
All right. So there we go. We should be back on the phone lines. So hopefully you all can hear me on the phone lines. I'm going to make this pretty quick because the energy is high and the frequency is high. But I want to talk about a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who purchased the Galactic e-files volume 2. And that will be participating in the telepathic mystic call. Now, initially, I had said, we might be gone again. Initially, I had said we were not going to, we were going to do the call tonight, but I'm going to pause that. I think I was just being a little overly excited. Today is just the 11th. And even though I have a lot of things to tell you, I have a lot of information I want to give you guys this month. I'm also going to give you my check sheet, my checklist that you will have. You'll be able to have it to keep, and it's going to be a digital copy along with me going over the steps, especially for those of you who want to start businesses or have started businesses, or you want to put what you're doing out into the world. And or you're already doing that. And some things that really have been helpful for me along the journey. Many of you may or may not know this, but my background is in business management. That's much of what I do in corporate America, along with also training and facilitation as well. that's just a few things to come together. But I'm going to give you that. And I'm also going to give you some things that I've learned, not just working from the business side of it. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to do a lot more of this, especially when it comes to self-invested coming up. It's going to be a big focus because I think now more than ever, the time is needed. And I'm going to share with you. Sometimes we think that what we have as our natural ability is not sustainable for ourselves. And we look at the lights, camera, action, and we see all the glitz and glamour. And yes, that can come with time. And yes, that's a part of the process. And I'm still working on that part of the process with myself. But I will share this with you. You don't need thousands upon thousands of followers or people connected to you. You really just need your passion. You need to have a certain dedication and a focus. And with that, you will be able to not only share what is so close to your heart, because that's really what it's about. You want to put something out in the world that helps people in whatever whatever you see fit for. You want something that people can take away and know that what you're providing to them is something they can use in their life. And a lot of these things that we have, I'm going to show you how I have taken what I've been doing and doing it step by step and give you a check sheet. And, later we'll do some more workshops if anyone's interested, and really sort of the behind the scenes, the breakdown of things. Now, I'm not a very big person, so I want you all to use me as the example. In a world where everything is supposed to be focused inward and everyone is so focused outward, one of the things that I am very kind of honored that I've stayed true to my way. And that doesn't have to be your way, but I've stayed true to my way. And that may change in the future, but for now, this is where I'm feeling called and led to do. For 13 years or more, many of you have listened to me, yet you've never seen me. You never even seen a picture of me online. And a big part of that is because I wanted you all to focus on you and not be distracted, but really focus on you. And we all throughout this process had an amazing journey and still do of tuning in to all of these abilities now that everybody has jumped on board. They might have been doing something else in the past, but now everyone is tapping into metaphysics, spirituality, and astrology. But many of you who have been with me for a long time, years and years, you've been tuning these muscles. You've been tuning these muscles because just by coming and being a part of Planet Remix, it really sort of puts you front and center in front of you. So the focus becomes you. The focus truly becomes you. And it forces you to use higher consciousness to connect because there's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to attach to. There was nothing to get distracted with. The focus was you. And it also gave, I feel personally, a big level of trust that, wait a minute, Ms.Blue is not bullshitting us. When she's doing these oracle readings, when she's in the Akashic records, she can't, for many years, now I get a little glimpse of what you look like. But there's still times where I can't see you. I don't know anything about you. I don't have no background information on you. The only thing we're dealing with is pure energy. So I don't want you to forget that. Because many of you, even those of you who've been listening for just a couple of months, you have elevated yourself in your awareness of understanding more about how to love yourself, understanding more about how to connect with your intuition, how to trust the things that is coming to you, how to really navigate yourself in the world, how to ride your cosmic waves, and really how to be that for other people in your life. For other people in your life, you know, how to be able to be connected with others in your life and to share these things and to infuse these things into all the things that you've done in your life. So I wanted to start out by really just kind of tapping into that energy a little bit, because I know we have a lot of new listeners. And believe you me, this is a big stretch for me because I'm doing my work, I promise you, day by day, to really putting myself, putting my face, putting it out there to let you all see me. And that's only because of things that I'm working through and through. The more I continue on this journey, the more I know 100%, 1000% that back almost 13, 14 years ago, when people was calling me the Oracle, I knew and understood about that title. And truly, I embody a great aspect and a part of that. And that's a big part of what I bring to you all, even though there's many sides of me. Of course, you guys know I'm a Reiki master. Dealing with Reiki, that is a big love for mine. Energy healing, I fell in love with the chakras. That's my first love coming into consciousness. And then also being a certified holistic practitioner and working with the modalities of healing and understanding that. And then adding some more certifications and training. So the work really doesn't stop, but it's not really work to me. I am thrilled for it and always looking for the next adventure to learn, to grow, to expand, and really be able to use these things in my own personal life, and then also passing it on and sharing with you guys. These next couple of days, I'm going to say maybe these next 30 plus days here, it's going to be a strong focus that I would love for all of us to sort of commit to doing, even though it's something that we talk about a lot here on Planet Remix. I really would love for us to commit to loving ourselves and really, really, really connecting and diving in deep to getting a clear understanding of what that truly means and making it a part of our everyday life. So I will be infusing that in, especially in a couple of weeks. Maybe we're going to be going in and I'm going to prepare you for the Galactic E-Files Volume 3. And boy, do I have something for you in Volume 3 because the messages have already come in. So it was important for me this week to make sure that I am not getting distracted. And I wanted to bring this message on because I know it possibly could be very helpful for you all as well in making sure about distractions. And when I talk about distractions, you know, Kehlani sings a song, "Let Me Be Your Beautiful Distraction." In fact, I did a show recently about distractions. But sometimes we can have beautiful distractions. We can have things that in our lives are very good things for us, you know, things that we really want to do as well. But it still can be a distraction because it's not coming from pure inspiration. And that's one of the things that is key, is to make sure that whatever you're doing, it is coming from inspiration. Because this is where you're going to find your greatest expansion to come in at. Your greatest expansion is going to come when it is truly inspired from within. Inspiration itself is the spirit in motion. The spirit in motion. When your spirit from within gets in motion and it sort of just kind of kicks you in gear and sort of leads you, hence the reason I'm here, because this was inspired action that is taking place. And so I'm going to share that message with you all. We're going to talk about that. But now that we have many of you here, I do want to share with you, you will get an email if you have the Galactic e-files volume 2. You'll get an email, and I'm going to let you know that the call for the month is going to be a little later in the month. A little later. We have some major things going on in the astral skies. And we have the nodes that are going to change. And so there was a part of me, the astrologer in me, that wanted to jump on and say, oh, we got to do that call. We got to get that call. I want to get that information to you. And I want to do all of this. And Spirit, once I sat down and really thought about it, said, no, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. But the call is going to come. And we're going to do the call before the month is over. So I promise you, everybody who has the bundle deal, hold on. You have enough work inside the Galactic e-files and the revelations. Like, oh my goodness, if you got the Galactic e-file, you see all of these things that I put out way before this month is already happening and more to come. Plus work that you can do personally on yourself. And that's the major key. Because with each one of these steps, if you follow them, if you do them, you're going to see transformation, leaps and bounds, you guys. Even from those of you who have the Galactic e-file volume 1, and now for those of you who have the Galactic e-file volume 2. And it's just going to keep getting better and better. So I will tell you, for all of us, this month here can be a whole lot of things. But what I want you to do more than anything is I want you to move by inspiration. Inspiration is going to be the key. The next thing, it's going to be about family. I want you to understand that we are a soul family here, but this is going to be all about family. I want you to stay in that place of love and nurturing yourself and really loving yourself. We got enough shows that you can go back and you can see what that looks like when you're really putting in a practice of self-love for yourself and covering all the bases. So, yeah, welcome on in, everyone. All of the stars are in the building. Let's get those likes up. We have more than 150 plus people on the live. And I want to get those likes up so our soul family can keep finding us and we can kind of move ourselves up in the algorithm here on YouTube. The other thing, real quick, shouts out to everyone and shouts out to the moderators in the building, Mr. Dante. Thank you for that, Mr. Dante. And the other thing, and Lola Falana is here. Didn't see you, Lola. Welcome on in, Lola. And let's go ahead and give a shout out to Brother Lance, the other moderator. Yeah, welcome in. And to everyone here, Self-Invested. Give a big shout out to Self-Invested and everyone Self-Invested, the astrologers and the Self-Invested, and also the Self-Invested workshop to everyone. And then also to the Divine Priestess in the building, sending love to so many of the priestess in the building. Again, I don't want to be too long, but you know, hey, we're still riding the cosmic waves here. All right. So And by the way, some of you are asking, yes, the Galactic e-files are still available. We'll get that link to you if you're interested. Don't walk, but run and tap in. Because what I am going to decide to do is definitely, once we get ready to do the class, we're going to just kind of wrap it up at that point. But I want to make it available to as many as you as possible. It's been so good. It's been so good for me. And I know it's going to be so good for you too. We're going to listen to some Baby Blue and then we're going to dive in so I can give you guys these steps, especially during this time. So, how we can move from distractions to inspiration. And we're going to do that so we can unlock creativity that is within. We're going to unlock our creativity even to the next level because our creativity has expanded itself from where it used to be. And I know you all can feel that inside of you. So I'm just going to give you some steps, some things that really has been helpful to me. Some of them will be things you've heard me say before. Some of them will even be things that you have said before. But let this be a reminder. And, there'll also be some things on there you've never probably heard put this way before. But I think this is a great time. I also know the work that we love to do for others is what we need to learn for ourselves in this world. So, yeah, let's listen to some Baby Blue. Here we go.
La 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 la, the remix. Hey, this is Baby Blue. And remember, if nothing else moves you, life will.
Oh, so true. Say it with me. If nothing else moves you, life will. If nothing else moves you, life will. If nothing else moves you, life truly will. So let's talk about this. This is what I affectionately call, when I'm writing this in my book, a part of the Oracle Chronicles. So we're going to talk about unleashing creativity, unleashing our creativity that's inside of us, and harnessing focus. For those of you who's going to be on um, the Galactic E-Files Volume 2, if you're going to be taking the portion of the telepathic mystic call, we're going to be going a little deeper into this. We're going to be getting real mystical into this, and you're going to get the full package. But I definitely wanted to make sure our soul family could tap into some of this energy. If for some reason, just where you are, you're not able to be a part of the telepathic mystic call this month, just where you are, continue to do your work. So let's get started. Let's get started. Yeah. So the first thing, I want you to embark on a journey, because that's truly what we're doing. We're embarking on a journey into the realms of creativity and focus. Whenever you're going into the realm of creativity and even focus, because I want you to think of them two as going hand to hand, it's a total different dimension. And you have to make sure that mm, um, you have to make sure, talk about distractions, right? I'm not playing anything. So if you're hearing any kind of music, um, then I'm not sure where it's coming from because I'm not playing anything. And I want to make sure, speaking of distractions, that we don't have any distractions. I'm not going to get distracted, but I want you all to make sure you can hear. Can you hear me? Okay, let's do a final check. And I talked about this at the beginning, that some of you, it could be your browser that you're using. It could be the frequency. It could be multiple things. You can hear on the phone lines. Thank you, Shaquan. Thank you for that, Shaquan. In the blue room, you can hear me in the blue room. Is that a yes? I don't know. Hearing great. Thank you for that. Royal expressions. Beautiful. So you guys can hear me. Okay? No problem. You can hear me crystal clear. Yes. Can hear. The volume is good. So this is what we're going with. We're going to go with this. Everybody else, if you're recalibrating, it's a beautiful thing. Turn it up. Turn me up, Holiday. Turn me up. Turn your headset up. We're going to turn it up. All right. So here we go. So we're embarking on this journey. And this journey is into the realm of creativity and focus. It's a totally different dimension. You ever looked at someone or seen a child playing with the toy when they have been truly focused? It could be all kinds of things going on around that child, but they could be on the floor playing with pots and pans, clinging them. You could be cooking. I've done it with my own children when they were small. They are so focused on what they're doing. The television could be going on. You could be having conversations around them, and they are focused because it truly is a different realm when you're in that realm of creativity and focus. So again, this is where the wisdom of the Oracle Chronicles will guide us, because that's what we're using. And that's what I tapped into with the Oracle Chronicles to unleash creativity, to harness focus. Because let's face it, we're living in a world at this particular time, and we're constantly being bombarded. They're bombarding us with distractions. And like I said, it can be a beautiful distraction, but it's a distraction. And we're going to talk about how we know something is a distraction. We are being bombarded not only with distractions, but demands of our attention. Demands of our attention. Like so many things need your attention. A couple of years ago, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago, we were doing a show. And during that show, we talked about how the most valuable, or one of the most valuable assets you have is your attention. And now we're living in a world where if you can get people's attention, it is literally worth billions. Billions of dollars. So nothing is more precious than your attention and your creativity. Nothing is more precious than your creativity and your attention. And self-invested, which we've been doing for over 9-10 years now, we coined a phrase that has traveled all over the world called tea. It's interesting because there's a new app called Spill the Tea. But we understand, and those of you who are a part of Self-Invested, of what tea time is. Because tea time stands for time, energy, and attention. Your time, your energy, and attention. Those are your 3 powerhouses. And when you mix that in with your creativity, the creativity is almost like the backing of gold. That creativity, when you mix it with time, energy, and attention. So, with all of these demands on our attention, finding the space, and I'm not just talking about the creative space, I'm talking about the mental space. I'm talking about the sacredness of your energetic space, finding the space to tap into our creativity and to stay focused has become more critical than ever. Like literally, it's critical that you know how to do this. So we're going to dive in to the secrets of the Oracle Chronicles. And we're going to discover, I'm going to share with you how you can unlock your true creative potential. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the art of focus, because this truly is an art. If you've ever had to focus on something, it's really an art to that shit. That is not some thing that you just wake up like this doing. There's an art to it, especially when the distraction is beautiful. So beautiful. I mean, it's easy to be distracted when we don't want to do something. It's easy to be distracted when we feel we can't accomplish the task at hand. It's easy to get distracted when we don't want to face something that we need to face. It's easy to get distracted when it's something we just are not interested in. But what about those beautiful distractions? What about them? What about the beautiful distractions? The ones that we want to be distracted, but then we understand that that distraction later on causes so many things to get out of alignment in our lives. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about visualizing looking out into sea. Looking out into the sea. And I want you to visualize a figure that is seated amidst a sea, but this sea is a sea of chaos. So all around this figure, you see them sitting in a sea of chaos. They're sitting in a sea of chaos, but yet they are radiating an aura of unwavering concentration. So they're really focused. But all around them is chaos. Everywhere. But this being is seated in a sea of chaos. But when you look at their aura, when you see their energy coming from their body, that is just going all around them, they have this unwavering concentration. So one of the things that I wrote in my notes, because that was the vision that I seen in the Oracle Chronicles, as I call it, because we're talking about the art of focus. because focus is the key to unlock the door to the creative realm. See, if you were to take a seat, just like you're all here and you're focused on listening at this time and being present, you're doing more than just taking in information from me. You are unlocking the door to the realm of your creativity by being present, by being focused. And this is how activations come in. So many of you will listen to Planet Remix and get a complete download as soon as you finish. You may have had questions that might have been troubling you all day, all week, but soon as you tune in and you're focused, the answer starts to come to you and you get the clarity you're seeking. You get that activation. You get that information because focus, by you focusing, this is the key to unlocking the doors to the creativity realm because it has its own dimension. So now, how can we cultivate such a focus in our lives, like that being who's seated in the midst of a chaotic sea that's all around them? The aura is penetrating a unwavering concentration. And it's unlocking different dimensions. You can literally see the energy as it ripples itself up and ripples itself outward. First thing, we must recognize the power of mindfulness. I give the mind some time a hard way to go, especially when it comes to our conscious mind. I give it a hard way to go, and rightfully so. A hard way to go. But we must recognize the power of mindfulness. And this is so key. This is key. By training our minds to be fully present in the here and in the now. In the here and in the now. Do you know how many people in the world cannot be present? They cannot. They can't listen. They cannot stand still. They cannot be focused. They can't. But we have to train our minds to be fully present in the here and the now. Because when we do that, we can quiet the noise of distraction. And what happens, you will enter into a state of deep focus. A state of deep focus. We know that there are many ways that you can do this. It's through meditation, that's one. It's through journaling, that's two. You can also do it by simply taking a moment to breathe. You can. And then the other way you can do it is by making a commitment and using Planet Remix, other things that you're doing, and setting the intention to be present in the here and now. And even though many beautiful things may come up, you do not allow that to take you off course from training your mind to be present in the here or now. To be present. And so this is going to help us learn to embrace the art of focus and to create space for our creativity to flourish, because that's what's going to happen. I guarantee you, if you are present in the here and now, once we get off of here, watch the rest of your morning, your night, your evening, your afternoon. Watch what happens. Maybe you haven't noticed that when you have been truly present, creativity gets unlocked. So now this is going to bring us to the second part of this. And this is something that I work with all the time. And this is about tapping into the creativity well, because there is endless, limitless abundance when it comes to tapping into creativity. And as we're going through this 7-11 portal, we're really going through a 7-11-7 portal. And for those of you who have the telepathic mystic and the Galactic E-Files Volume 2, 7 plus 7 is 14, you're going to see that reference quite a bit. But we're going to talk about that on the call a little more. So, creativity is really like a bottomless well. But this bottomless well is like diving into deep space or going down to the bottom of the sea. It lies deep within each of us. Deep within us. That's why sometimes we may feel that our creativity is not coming through like we want to, or things are not happening the way we want. But this is inside of each and every single one of us. The real question is, how do we tap into this well of creativity, and draw the abundant waters from it? In ancient Egypt, they talk about the waters of noon. You know, this is where all things have been birthed out of, these waters of noon. And so this is what we're talking about. How do we tap into this well and draw forth its abundant waters? These are waters rich in creativity. These are waters rich in anything that you can think of. Healing, inspiration, all kinds of things are in this water. And so one of the methods that I use very, very often is the power of curiosity. Now, those of you who have been listening to me for a long time, you know I am curious. Some people would say nosy, but I'm not nosy. I have no interest in your personal actions. I'm curious, though. Curious about life. I'm curious about understanding. I'm curious about me. I'm curious about crystals and energy and the world and all of us humans on the planet and the things that we're doing in our life. This curiosity is one of the things that feeds my inspiration. And so the things that you guys see, and often you ask me, Ms.Blue, how do you come up with this stuff? Where does it come from? Well, you have that inside of you. It's a bottomless well full of abundant waters that is inside of us. And curiosity is step one, and how we are tapping in to this creative sea. Second is maintaining a childlike sense of wonder. A childlike sense of wonder. You know, have you ever seen a child just being in a sense of wonder? You know, this really has a lot about where your vibration is and where your frequency is. It's like you're waking up and you already know that something wonderful is going to happen. You are filled with this wonder, and children are filled with wonder. That's why they are wonderful. This is why we wish each other a wonderful day. I want you to have a wonderful day. And when you're in a state of wonder, you're consciously, and continuously seeking new experiences. I know I always go to Starbucks on a Tuesday and get a latte. Maybe today I go somewhere else. Maybe I try that new restaurant that's doing fresh green juice and I go there and try something different. See, when you're in this state, you are constantly seeking new experiences. And sometimes, most often, those new experiences exist in the same place. I seek new experiences every time I do a reading for you guys. I seek new experiences every time we come together and we're doing Planet Remix. I am seeking to experience something completely new for what is going on. I want a new experience when I take my car to the car wash. I want a new experience when I'm walking in Target. But I want you to understand that new experience is not coming from the outside. This is something that has to be activated inside of you. It's coming from within. It's coming in. Have you ever watched your favorite movie? And you can think of your favorite movie that you absolutely love. You can put it on at any day, any night. You watch it. I guarantee you, because you're in that state. You're in that state of being curious. You're in that state of wonder, right? You're in that state. You're going to see something different every single time that you watch it. And depending on where you're growing and what you're doing, it's going to hit a little different every single time that you watch it. It's just going to hit a little different every single time that you watch the movie. Every time you watch it, you're going to take something different away. You're going to take something new away. It's going to feel a little different to you. Feel a little different for you. This is being in a state of wonder and continuously seeking new experiences. Because when we do this, we open up our world of inspiration. We open up serendipity. We open up deja vu. We are literally tapping into the Akashic records. Your records. And suddenly you are walking through portals. You are walking through energy. You are connecting with people. You are noticing things. You are seeing things. You are feeling things. You are hearing things. You are becoming a high frequency being. You are in touch with what you're feeling. So that's important. And that's going to be the second step. Let's talk about the third one. This is a big one. And constantly, this is a real big one. And that is embracing failures as a stepping stone. Embracing your failures as a stepping stone and learning from it. I would say that most of us are really good, probably too good, at embracing failures. Oh, we can embrace a failure, but are we really making the effort to learn from it? Or are we still thinking it was someone else's fault? Are we still thinking it had nothing to do with us? Are we still thinking that was just a coincidence? But if you look up the etymology of the word coincidence, then you will know coincidence really means that it wasn't a coincidence at all. In fact, it was something that was put into motion. That was put into motion. And who put it into motion? You did. The being is causing. The being is causing. So embracing failures as a stepping stone and learning from it. Because we know that there will be what we deem failures along the way. But once you learn from it, you can embrace it. And it doesn't become a part of the fear trap that keeps you locked out of your creativity, out of your expansion, out of your self-love. It keeps you from locking yourself out of that dimension within yourself. It allows you to take risk when you're able to do that. It allows you to take so many risks, and it pushes you beyond your boundaries of your creativity. And this is what the world needs now. We need to be pushed beyond our boundaries of creativity. We've got to be pushed beyond those boundaries. We have to take a risk and we have to go beyond. If you are just doing things the way every single person has done in your life and nothing is coming from you, nothing is unique to you, then you haven't embraced your failures or learned from them. And therefore, you don't want to take a risk. And you can't step outside the boundaries of the creativity you know. You're going to keep it safe. You're going to do what the masses are doing. You're going to think what everyone in every generation in your family has told you to think, and you're not going to go outside of what a book is telling you. You're not going to go outside of what a teacher has told you. You're not going to step outside what a mentor has told you. You're not going to step outside what your parents has shown you. You're not going to step outside of what your mind is telling you. And you will continue to lack knowing who you are and your true divine purpose for being on the planet at this time. You must be able to take some risk. The risk in pushing beyond the boundaries of your creativity, because that's where it starts. If you notice, the first things when our world began to really drastically change, they change creativity and how it's being taught in school. They took creativity out of the schools. And as a result, we had massive beings, myself included, you guys included, that it forced us. It forced us, number one, to embrace our failures, and we have learned from it. It allowed us to take some risk, right? We pushed the boundaries of our creativity, no matter what, because we know what is true for us. Remember this: creativity has no bounds. It is up to us to explore this vast landscape. I want you to think of it like dark matter in space. Think about how we were when it came to our understanding of our galaxy and our universe, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. That we were told there was nothing on the other side of the Milky Way. And yes, I'm going to keep reminding you all, it was me, Ms.Blue. I'm going to say this one. I remember, because it's documented here on this show, when I told you guys I had went to the other side of the Milky Way. Science was still saying there was nothing on the other side of the Milky Way. But approximately 4 to 5 years later, they came out and said, guess what? We discovered there's other planets on the other side of the Milky Way. And this is why we have to explore the vast landscape. People are not going to like it. They're going to want you to stay textbook. They're going to want you to back up your sources. They're going to want you to have credentials. They're going to want you to be taught by somebody, certified by somebody. They're going to want you to be trained by somebody. They're going to want someone else to bless off on you. You're going to have to be at a certain social status or social class. Well, that system is getting remixed. Getting remixed. I will honestly tell you that me, even though I have formal training, academia training through university, and I acknowledge that, and it means a whole lot in a lot of sectors. But when it comes to this work, my training has been, yes, some powerful teachers on this planet, but my training has been through the divine. And if I had waited for someone to tell me what I understood according to the world's definition, I would be considered crazy. I would be considered all of these titles, labels, and possibly put on medication for hearing voices, talking to spirits, seeing auras, going to other dimensions, all of this, understanding about science, all of these things. And I'm not telling you that you shouldn't have a foundation. I'm letting you know that there has to be a balance. If we are going to, quote unquote, change the world, creativity, and I will keep saying this, is the only thing that has ever changed the world and that will ever change the world. No one has changed the world by following what everyone else is doing and what they have been taught in a book. Even our greatest scientists, even our greatest teachers, our greatest lawyers, our greatest doctors, our greatest mothers, our greatest fathers, our greatest engineers, our greatest scientists, our greatest mathematicians, our greatest philosophers, our greatest chefs, even though they had a foundation, it was the pure inspiration of their creativity that took them to the next level. Pay attention to what people are not saying to you and what is really going on, because you're holding yourself back from stepping outside of boundaries, from pushing yourself beyond, taking a risk with your own creativity. Many of you have things inside of you that you want to invent, that you have mixed potions together or painted pictures, or you have dialed diagrams or came up with ideas, but you will not step out. You will not open your mouth. You will not share because you feel it's too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk. You don't want to fail. You don't want to go outside the boundaries. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission. And trust yourself always that it's time that we stop doing this. We have to allow ourselves to take risk. And failure cannot be the stopping point. We have to learn and use that as a stepping stone. And we have to keep pushing the boundaries of our creativity. It doesn't always look pretty, but when we're in a place where we're building the world, because tomorrow is not promised. It's only promised for you if you are creating a tomorrow. So that saying that we all heard, tomorrow is not promised to you. It can only be promised if it comes from your heart. If it's coming from your heart, you will never lose the promise. You have to do it. So whatever work you're doing now, it could be working on yourself. It could be something you do in your day-to-day life. It could be where you go to work at. It could be something you're working on. I want you to take this and remember this. Creativity has no bounds. It has no borders. And it is up to us to explore this landscape. And we got many examples on the planet. And I know y'all don't like the examples on the planet. Why do you think Elon Musk keep wanting to go into outer space? Because he is willing to take risk. If you don't see it as nothing else, this is not a personal opinion, but he's willing to take risk. He's willing to push the boundaries of his creativity. He's willing to focus and explore this landscape to see what is beyond where we can go. Oh, you're going to get feedback. Don't worry. The universe is a beautiful mirror. So, mirror, mirror on the wall, when you put it out into this vastness of this world, you will get feedback to know if you're moving in a direction that is so for you, or you're not moving in the direction that is not so for you. What if everyone gave up and did not want to go against the norm, did not want to stand up for what they felt, did not want to cross the boundaries of what we said was possible? What if we never explored that curiosity of something else? Then everything that we're learning, we're understanding, we're seeing in our world would not exist. So do not let what the past has built now be the prism of how you can excel and you can go in your world. It's real easy for someone to tell you to follow a formula. When they didn't follow a formula to get there. Now, if you're not having success in your life, this is going to bring us to the third part, is that you have to have that discernment to know. I'm not saying be foolish. If what you're doing is not working, then you definitely need to get with someone where it's working. See, education and teaching, this is why our school systems are crumbling from the root on the inside down. And that system will soon be revamped here very soon. Because you're going to see when school systems start back, particularly in the West, you're going to see so many people are not sending their children back to school for many different reasons. Education is supposed to be a foundation, because after you get your education, you're now supposed to be tapping into your creativity, and you are to continue to elevate and expand on your uniqueness and put that specialty that God, the universe, has been born into you and you have agreed to bring to the planet at this time out into the world. It's not supposed to look like anyone else. It's not supposed to feel like no one else's work. It's not sometimes supposed to sound like someone else's work. And I ask you the question that I've asked myself, because I feel like I've been a little lackadaisical here. Are you taking a risk? And I'm talking about a risk about pushing the boundaries of your creativity, of what you know in your heart to be true, what you are understanding in your spirit, what is calling you to birth? Or are you playing it safe? Are you dumbing yourself down because you feel that no one will understand you? Or that they won't get it? Or that it'll be misunderstood? It'll be taken out of text. People won't like what you have to say, or they're going to get angry, or they're going to get upset, or whatever all of these thoughts are. Creativity has no bounds. And it's going to take those of us who are willing to follow our heart, cross some boundaries, take some risk, and explore the vast frontier. And I'm telling you this because that's where I am. And I want you to really join me in inviting that energy in with yourself. We have to start remixing things. This is why I came up with the title of Planet Remix, the remix. Now it's turned into a whole planet, a whole galaxy at this point. But we have to stop playing it safe. We have to remix it. See, when you remix something, and I'm going to try to find that original clip from back in the day, because I give an explanation of remix. When you remix something, you're taking some things that you've learned, you're taking some things that you have an understanding, and you're mixing them together. And when it comes out, it becomes something completely unique and different, never seen before. Ta-da! And I'm proud to say, this is the remix. And we have been remixing. I have been remixing for a very long time. Been remixing so long, we got other branches of now some of the things have become the norm of remix. Back in the day, remix was what DJs would use. But when I came up with the title, the remix, that's not what Spirit gave me. I wasn't thinking about the DJing. I wasn't thinking about the songs. I was truly thinking about life and how I understand it. So I want you to remix it. And I want you to understand everybody ain't gonna like you remixing shit. And I know that right now, a lot of people don't like the way I remix. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, let's talk about the next step. And that is, this is a big one. It's about balancing discipline, which we just talked about in the last show, balancing discipline and playfulness. Playtime is over. Meaning, not that you can't play, but you got to know when playtime is over. You can't play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can't keep playing. Because you're going to play, 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 you're going to play till you play yourself out. Playtime has a time. And discipline has a time. But it's a balance. It's a yin and yang. It's a balance. I wrote this in my Oracle Chronicles about balancing playtime and discipline. It's a delicate dance between the two. So we have to focus. But while we focus, we have to structure things and provide a framework for our creative endeavors. If your creative endeavors don't have a framework, it's going to be out of balance. And then we can inject an element of play. Because that play, that is the joyfulness in the work, it's going to breathe life into your work and it's going to be there. And when you begin to speak it, when you begin to talk about it, I can tell when you all are coming on and you're, especially those of you who are not sure if you should leave a job or if you should venture off and do your own thing, or you want to move from this city to that city. I can tell by your energy because you start to breathe life into where these two come together, where you have the balance of the discipline and the playfulness, or even the potential for those two to intertwine with each other. And also, so you can understand it from another way, this is often where the superconscious comes online. When you have balance in your discipline and your playfulness, the superconscious will come online and take over. A lot of times when I'm speaking with you guys, as I'm doing now, this is the superconscious talking. The superconscious has come on. The higher self has stepped in. And it's giving life. It's giving life into this. You can feel the energy as you begin to take it in. It comes and makes contact with your electromagnetic field, my electromagnetic field, and it will open you up to that frequency. And if you so choose, if you are willing to take a risk, it will allow you to cross the boundaries and raise your vibration, and bam, you will instantly have your own activation. And you will say, wow, I was listening to Planet Remix. It was amazing. But afterwards, you go to writing, you go to cooking, you go to doing that thing you love, or you go to doing something disciplined that you know you need to finish. You start cleaning up, you start organizing things, you start getting ready for the next day. And all of this happened not because of my credit, but because of my discipline. Because of my focus, willing to take risk, step into that creativity, expand my creativity, and put it out. It comes to you because you're willing to do the same thing. It's not me, it's you doing your work and us doing work together. This is why we know that saying when it comes from the Bible and the Christian religion, and often it's also in sacred texts where two or more are gathered. That's the magnetic field. Because the highest in the room, the highest vibration in the room, you will raise or rise to the occasion. If you're open, you're going to raise your frequency. So it's not just about listening to something, feeling good, or thinking the person made you feel good. You were open to receive and transmute your own energy and raise your frequency. A part of my work when you come in contact with me is to get you to raise your frequency as high as mine's, or get this, or even higher. Even higher. That's what I want you to do. Bring it up to here or go higher. But we have to not just let it stop there. It can't just be a feel-good session. I couldn't live with myself letting you do that. You've got to take a risk. You got to go beyond those boundaries of your creativity. You have to allow yourself to take action on the things in your life. And we have to have balance in that action. We have to have balance in that creativity. We have to have balance in that playfulness. We have to have balance in how these things are showing up in the world for us. So, that discipline and that playfulness coming together. We know that structure and focus is where the framework for our creativity and our creative endeavors lie. And once we start to inject the element of play, this is how you breathe life into your work. And here's something else I learned as key, and I want you all to take this with you. You have to approach your task with a sense of joy. And that's whatever it is. If it's that daunting task of cleaning your house that you don't want to do, or that daunting task of maybe going to a job that you know eventually you want to leave, or that daunting task of making sure you cook healthy food for yourself, whatever that is, you have to approach that task with a sense of joy. With a sense of joy. And this comes with our creative endeavors as well. You have to approach it with joy. This is also, you have to allow yourself to experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. And let me tell you why. Because when you approach it in this manner, you will foster an environment. And I'm talking about a mental environment. I'm talking about a physical environment. I'm talking about an energetic environment that nurtures innovation. It will start to nurture innovation when you do this. When you do this, by taking these steps and allowing yourself, making an attention that you come with a sense of joy and you bring that wonder and that curiosity and you allow yourself to experiment and also to make mistakes. So, let us not confine ourselves to these rigid guidelines. And I do a lot of this shit on purpose. I pop in and pop up and change it up. And some of you send me these emails. Why don't you make up your mind? We need to know what day your show is coming on. And I do this because I am bold enough. I want to push the boundaries enough. I want to take enough risk and step outside and explore enough to do something to remind you in your own life, to embrace the spontaneity and the unexpected, because that's how life happens. Sometimes shit that's unexpected or spontaneous just happens. But when we have these rigid guidelines, too much of the world teaches you about being on time, about being disciplined. When you get too fixed, when you get too locked in, you become complacent, a little lackadaisical. You get a little uninspired. It becomes a little monotonous. So yeah. Oh yeah. Let this be a reminder to you. Don't be so rigid to guidelines. Embrace being spontaneous. Do some things sometimes that is unexpected. Because it is within this dance that we've been talking about, in this dance of discipline and playfulness, that you'll get a chance to reveal the true magic of your unique and authentic creativity. 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 This is where it happens. This is how you make it happen. So, I know I said I wasn't going to be too long. We're almost done. We're almost done. So now, in conclusion, because I'm going to be doing more of the files from I'm going to be doing more of the files from the Oracle Chronicles because yeah, I know. I'm going to keep going. I am. So as we conclude the Oracle Chronicles for today, tonight, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are in the world. We emerge from this space with the knowledge of focus and creativity. And we know that we're living in a world that is gleaming with distractions. And some of those distractions are beautiful distractions. But the power to stay focused, it allows us, oh my goodness, it allows us, it allows us to manifest our wildest ideas, our wildest ideas. And so by tapping into the creativity, see this well that's within us, we can transform our lives. We can transform our lives and the world that is around us, because creativity is the only way that we're going to change the world. So by tapping in to this creativity, it's transforming. It's transforming us. It's transforming our world. So let us heed the wisdom. Let us heed this wisdom that we received at the time of now. So whether you came from the past to the present to join us now, or you came from the future back to the past to join us in this moment, to embrace the art of focus so that we can unlock the boundless realms of our imagination. And together we can create a future that is rich in innovation like never seen before, that is filled with the spirit of beauty, and that has endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for being present. And may our journey into the Oracle Chronicles continue to guide us to new horizons of creativity and focus. That's all I have for us at this time. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle. I love each and every single one of you. Please, please do me a favor. Make sure you come back. Listen to this. I would encourage you to listen to this as you're drifting off to sleep, or as you're out and about walking or working, or if you're just getting up. Replay this and take it in. This is not a message just for the planet. It's a message for all of us. I say it this way because the message is for me. It's a reminder to myself as well. And I wanted to come here. I know I have the Oracle Chronicles that I've been documenting for years, but I wanted to start. This is what I'm going to start when I'm feeling called, when I'm feeling I need to step outside of, the constraints and move more in to the boundaries, or expand my boundaries. I said, I'm doing all of this. I need to do it here. I need to do it here. Why not? You guys are my family. Why not expand it here? Why not share this with you all here? This is me stepping out. Let this be an example. True enough, yes, we are all teachers and students at the same time. But when I sit in this seat, you all are my you all are my teachers, and I am your student. And I see it that way. And so I trust that this has served you well. I trust I have served you well with giving you this message. And from the bottom of my heart, I love each and every single one of you. If you're listening to this message after this message, please come back in the comments. Let me know what you're going to be doing going forward. How did this resonate with you? And, you know, if we all want to hear more of my Oracle Chronicles, I will be bringing the Oracle Chronicles to you and sharing them with you. But this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. This is what I do for me. I have these moments with myself. I sit and I encourage you to do it as well too. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be taking more risk. So when you see it, I don't want y'all to be shocked. You're going to be like, "Ooh, Ms.Blue, Ms.Blue. Yeah, I'm doing it. I am." And I am going to be pushing the boundaries of our creativity collectively as Planet Remix, but definitely for myself. I'm going to be pushing those boundaries. And I would love for you to join me on this journey. We're going to be diving into self-love, and I'm going to be pushing those boundaries there as well. I'm going to be pushing the boundaries of that and taking more risk, having more balance in the discipline and the playfulness. All of these things that I have shared with you, I'm committing myself to. I'm not giving you something that I'm not using in my life. It is time for us to stop playing it safe. It is time for us to stop trying to follow other people's rules. And it's time for us to really begin to start leveling up more than we ever thought or more than we could ever imagine. So, Ashe, 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 ashe. Oh my goodness. Yeah, felt that one. Felt those vibes coming from you all. I really did. So again, remember, we are still going to have the call for the month, but that's going to be a little later. I got some whole bunch of other stuff I'm going to be giving you guys. I want to say thank you to, I can't see the super chat. 2 super chats came in. I think BK, brother BK did a super chat. And the other brother Titan did a super chat. I want to say thank you all for the super chat donations as well. There's the link if you want to join us on the telepathic mystic call, which is what I've coined this month to be the month that we are activating the telepathic mystic that lives inside of all of us. So I look forward to seeing you all in these cosmic streets, as well as coming back and reading your takeaway from the show. Yeah, as well as reading your takeaway as well. So peace and love, soul family. I love you all. Don't forget to download. Have an amazing, wonderful rest of the week. Peace and love. Ciao.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.